Now, I've talked a lot about cheap fake games in the past, these copycat games that are trying to ride the coattails of successful, maybe AAA game series. It's usually kind of like low effort, low budget knockoffs, usually by not even like big studios, usually like just one person developers that are trying to make a quick buck. I feel like it's quite infrequent that this happens when another company who is also very, very successful when it comes to video games, they are the ones that are the copycats. So what I am talking about here, the whole original series that is allegedly being copied off of here. Now, this is the Horizon IP that I am talking about. This is an IP that is owned by Sony, so it is often on PlayStation. I think some games have made their way on PC, so it's not exactly a PlayStation exclusive, but nonetheless, it is an IP owned by Sony. Most notably, you got the Horizon Zero Dawn game. I've heard a lot about that, and then, of course, you have the newer one, which I haven't heard a lot about, Horizon Forbidden West. Anyway, here's some screenshots between the two games. I really do think that just visually, just with the graphics, it looks fantastic. Some of these are touched up cinematic shots, but even just the gameplay footage that I'm seeing, it looks pretty cool. I do actually want to try this out. Now, with that being said, and keeping in mind all those screenshots I showed you in case you are unfamiliar with Horizon, Tencent, they are wanting to come out with a game very soon. This is called Light of Motiram, and I am going to, again, show you 4 more screenshots, this time of Light of Motiram, or Motiram. It's kind of hard to say, but anyway, here you go. You may notice right off the bat that, yeah, it does look quite similar. From what I can see, both games, a female lead, it's big on nature, it's big on these specific looking graphics, and you're fighting these like big beasts in the game. I'm sure like the gameplay footage, if we saw that, might show that a lot of the gameplay mechanics are the same too. I don't know. But yes, just looking at the two games, they look quite similar. Now, you can probably put 2 and 2 together, but Horizon, they were made all the way back in 2017. That was the first game. Whereas Light of Motiram, that is an upcoming game. So people are saying that this is a copycat game from Tencent. So much so that Sony is actually suing Tencent exactly for this. So this originally came from Reuters. I will link this in the description, but it said Sony said in a lawsuit filed on Friday, now that was about 4 or 5 days ago from now, that Tencent's upcoming Light of Motiram is a, quote, slavish clone of its games that copies several distinctive Horizon elements and threatens to confuse buyers. Yeah, it copies off of the themes, and yes, I can even actually say that it would probably very much confuse buyers. Like, I would look at that Light of Motiram game, and I would think that's just a Horizon game. Now, here's what's interesting. It says Sony said in its complaint that it actually declined an offer from Tencent, this is earlier, to collaborate on a new Horizon game last year. Tencent later announced Light of Motiram, which Sony said features identical gameplay, story themes, and artistic elements to Horizon, as well as many other similarities. So this is one of those stories we have actually heard once or twice in the past, albeit from definitely smaller studios than Sony and Tencent, but still it's kind of the same song and dance. Two companies are going to work together on a project that one of the companies holds the IP for. Then for one reason or another, that project does not happen, and then the other company that doesn't have the IP rights, all of a sudden they come out with a game that looks very similar. Although in this case, it sounds like Sony and Tencent never actually worked together. It sounds like Tencent offered to work together and Sony refused, and that was it. So it says Sony asked the court for an unspecified amount of monetary damages and an order blocking Tencent from violating its IP rights, which essentially I would assume mean that this game cannot be released. It could also be ordered to be allowed to release only under certain specific conditions. We'll just have to wait and see. I am very surprised to see something like this coming from two very big companies.